Hey everyone, Shoe Shack Redemption is back, and as you can see, 2K24 is in my possession. I've actually had it for a while. Been partly waiting to figure out what I want to do, and partly prepping after I figured out what I want to do. So as you can see from the title, I'm planning to do a random team championship challenge within 4 years. So what I've been putting together over the last few weeks is a 91-92 roster with updated teams, with updated, tendencies, because we know those are screwed up a lot of times. Creating the players that are missing. I will admit that a lot of it I pieced together from other people's rosters. So there are still several people that I created myself, but a lot of them I just downloaded the DNA and then adjusted from there. So it saved me a little bit of time. And then I also was putting together the draft classes of 92, 93, and 94. I will give a shout out to DeBrick, who I don't remember his full user ID, but I started with his draft classes and worked from there, so adjusted some things. But the foundation of it was his, so don't want to take credit for that. The reason I chose 4 years is partly because I only wanted to do so many draft classes before I could get started. But also, if you recall, if you tuned in for what I did on 2K23, it was a ridiculously long Pacers dynasty starting from the 83-84 season. And it was in the fourth season that I won my first championship, and then I won a whole lot after that. But it wasn't until year 4 that I won. So I feel like if I can take the 83-84 Pacers roster and win it within 4 years, I should be able to do it with just about anybody. So that's why I chose 4. I will do a little bit, I guess if I go in here, can I change teams in here? No. I guess we could do it here. Okay. So I'll take a look at the rosters before we do the randomization. I think I'll just use this screen to scroll through and randomize what team I'll pick. But you can see Barkley's here, top of the Sixers list. I'll try to point out some of the guys. I know I made Armin Gilliam. The main roster I started with had some teams completely done. Roster-wise, I still had to make quite a few adjustments to the people that were on that roster. But there were some teams that hadn't had anything done, so I must have got it while it was in progress. But for what was there, I really liked what I saw. So it was like all the shoes were already updated, so nobody has 2K shoes, I don't think. So that was kind of neat. The what else was I going to call out? It'll come back to me, but oh yeah, when I say I was getting the 91-92 roster ready, what I would do is I'd do like a handful of teams, get the rosters set, get the rotation more or less set, get the numbers, positions, all that stuff. And then I would do a simulation, just simulate a full season of 91-92 to check stats against reality. And then I would go back and edit those stats or those attributes and tendencies to make it look more realistic. So some people, it's almost impossible to get them to do what they did in real life for whatever reason. I will call out the biggest issue I have right now with what 2K does with tendencies specifically. If anybody, I don't know what exactly the cutoff is. I was trying to look at his attributes. I guess I can't here. For shot under basket tendency, if it's too high, it takes it like down to like 30. So for all the guys, all the huge guys that really only shot under the basket, therefore shot like over 50%, if you put their shot under basket, say like 80, because that's all they ever do, when you start a simulation or start a season, it takes it down to 30. So automatically you're making their field goal percentage worse because they're shooting less shots of what they would shoot and potentially make, and more shots somewhere else farther out on the court that they are less likely to make. So That's the big thing that the only way I could change that, and I think I did this on the 2K23 one, is I would actually edit the roster within the season. So save it at day one of the season, and then go back and edit the tendencies. And I don't feel like I want to do that because I want to be able to edit the roster and upload it again. Um, I guess I got to upload the whole scenario, which I will do. Eventually, I'll upload the roster, the draft classes, and the scenario. I've not done that yet, but wanted to go and get something live out there and get started on this. So, okay, we've been looking at the Sixers long enough. Do a look through. I did create Alvin Robertson. I think I downloaded somebody's Low House. I also added the people that were technically the team had rights to them. So like Anthony Avent was drafted by now, but was playing internationally. So you'll see that with like Dino Raja and Tony Kukoc. They were not on the roster. The problem, sorry, I'll call out another issue I have with 2K right now is you can't give people those like international years, the overseas or what are they called? Draft and stash, whatever you want to call them. You have to find another way to do it. So for now, I'm doing personal reasons with the max. I don't think it'll show it here, but Anthony Avent, that little injury sign is actually personal reasons for 480 days because I think that's the max you can do. So, if you were to use this, you'd have to extend that until they actually would play. So. For the Bullets, this is an interesting team because they had three guys out for a very long to be realistic and them not to be, better because Bernard King was playing. I'd put them out, so I think I did that for my roster on the last game too. So they had three guys out for an extended period. Actually, Williams was suspended. He wasn't hurt. Bulls, I already said Kukoc. Horace Grant's one of those guys I was mentioning earlier, so his field goal percentage will be, when I've simulated, it's like 10% lower than what it should be. I think he shot close to 55%, and on here he shoots like below 45%, so it's kind of sad. The Cavs, so you can see there are some fake people down here, or not down here, there. Monk is fake. Anybody who is a fake player has a number in the 90s, has an overall 67 or lower, and is age 30. And I tried to, I think, take everybody's potential down too so that they don't randomly become all-stars. There's Raja, like I called out. Let's see what else I want to call out here. This is the start of the season. Actually, I think when I downloaded this roster, some of the in-season trades were already done, or in-season signings. I undid those so that the people that got signed, even within the first week of the season, are now on the free agent list. That way it's truly starting where a team started at the start of the year. The Hawks are a team that have 4 fake guys, so I will say every team has at least 10 players that are real. Therefore, they have a nice rotation going. A couple fake guys down there. The only trade that I think I went ahead and did, and I've seen people online kind of go back and forth on it, is the Kings-Warriors trade that happened, I think, seems like the first day of the season. So technically the season had started because I think some games had been played. But Richmond from the Warriors and then Owens from the Kings, I think the default roster, they're on those original teams. Went ahead and traded them because Richmond did not play a game for the Warriors in the season, and Owens did not play a game for the Kings in the season, so it just made more sense if we're going to make it realistic to go ahead and flip those. I think anything else I just kind of held off on. Anthony Mason's another one of those guys who gets ruined with his field goal percentage. I guess I could do a little experiment to see what the cutoff is and just make the shot under basket as high as it possibly can be without being automatically adjusted. If anybody knows that, maybe comment and I can go in and edit some of those guys so at least they'll be as realistic as they can be. Magic is here on the Lakers, out due to personal reasons, so this was one of his retirement years. Uh, Partially wanted to put him on here because technically he was under contract still, but even maybe more important is he played in the All-Star game. So this was the year he was starting in the All-Star game for the West, even though he didn't play in the season. So if you want to play a real All-Star game, you could take that injury away from him and make him eligible to play and sub him in. The Magic here are terrible. There's a reason they get Shaq with the number 1 pick. The Mavericks are actually a team, for whatever reason, end up better than they should be. So they were like I think, bottom 5 team. I don't remember what pick Jim Jackson was, but they end up being borderline playoffs for some reason. There are a couple other teams that I struggled to get to perform, to get a record close to what they got in real life. The Bulls, while still almost always finishing first in the East, were still like 10 games lower than, I think they won 67 or something like that in real life, and I could get them to like 57. So it's not perfect, but you know, it's a simulation and it's a game, so it won't be. I think the roster here already had a pretty good Mookie Blaylock, so he's here on the Nets. One of the better guys, not on the game still. We got a rookie Dikembe. I'm also taking a look at these teams so I can start kind of figuring out who, what I'm going to do with them if I randomly select them. We got Reggie here. Unfortunately, the haircut that Reggie Miller had at this time isn't really on the game. That's kind of close. It was a little more narrow. It was almost Mohawk-like. Antonio Davis is another guy. He was drafted but playing internationally, so I went ahead and put him on the roster, just not available to play. The funniest thing, so I played, speaking of the All-Star game earlier, my brother and I played the All-Star game. I went ahead and just subbed in the real All-Stars in one of my simulations, and I was the East and he was the West. And Dennis Rodman was one of the subs on the East, and I put him in. And I wish we had recorded it because I was like crying laughing. Because for whatever reason, Dennis Rodman's 5'9". I've obviously fixed that now. He's 6'7", 6'8", whatever he's supposed to be. But I meant to go back and look and I forgot. But I don't know if on the default roster, Dennis Rodman is actually 5'9" and it's a total error, or for whatever reason, who uploaded the roster I worked from had either purposely or accidentally changed him to 5'9", but it was just so funny because I was trying to figure out who's this tiny guy, who's this tiny number 10 inbounding the ball to my point guard who was like Mark Price or something, and why is Mark Price so much taller than him? So ended up it was Dennis Rodman, who did dunk it on Dikembe Mutombo in that game, which was even funnier. And also funny to think that he, in the simulations, was averaging 17, 18 rebounds a game as a 5'9" power forward. So, pretty cool. Oh, we got the Rockets here. Zon Tabak. I went ahead and added, he was another guy who was drafted already by that time, but not playing. The Spurs have a full roster. Like, these are some of the guys. Garrick, Copa, Sutton. I don't even know who those guys are, but the guy who created this roster that I started from had already added them, so hey, I'll take it. Got the Suns here with a pretty good roster. The Sonics with their young core, that'd be a cool team to be. Kemp and Payton. The Wolves are pretty terrible. They end up with a top 3 pick in real life with Christian Laettner. They also have 4 fake guys. This was a team that was untouched. I think the only person I created was Pooh Richardson. Blazers. So Sabonis, I mean, he still has 4 more years, I guess, before he plays, but went ahead and added him here. I mean, he's in his prime at this time, playing in Lithuania or wherever he is. There's the Warriors. This is a team that doesn't perform as well as they should. I think I might have figured out part of the reason why. I was realizing in the simulations, so in real life, both of these guys, Mullen and Hardaway, played like 41 minutes a game, which is crazy. But every time I would simulate, Mullen was only playing like 33 a game. He wasn't fouling a lot, and I looked at like the game log, and he was just playing that over and over again. So I looked at their rotation, and I thought, oh my gosh, Tim Hardaway doesn't have a backup. There's nobody on this team that plays point guard. So I went ahead and changed Sarunas Marciulionis to be able to play point guard, and hopefully that will help, because I wonder if because they didn't have a point guard, they were doing something weird with the rotation. I don't know. I guess we'll find out maybe. So that's it. A few guidelines I'm going to give myself to make this maybe more enjoyable to watch. I turned injuries down. They're still on, but pretty low. So hopefully I don't have to stop and adjust a whole bunch. And the other thing that will help with the stopping and adjusting is I am not going to do the detailed rotation screen for my team. If you recall, if you watched any of my videos with my Pacers dynasty, there was a lot of time spent on that stupid rainbow screen. I mean, I say stupid. It's helpful, I guess, to be able to do that in the game. But I think, I mean, the computer-controlled teams aren't doing that, so I won't do it, and maybe that'll save time, make it a little more enjoyable to watch. And I plan to not touch tendencies. So I'm going to play with them as they are, and if somebody's not doing well, then I'll probably trade them or get rid of them somehow. So that's my plan. I'm going to go ahead and just start holding this down. I'm not going to look up. I'm just going to stare into the controller as I try to distract myself from where I might be at in the rotation here. I'll even switch. We'll go the other way for a little while. This should be interesting. Should be interesting to see. My thoughts are, I mean, just initially, if I'm a good team, obviously, I got to try to win now as fast as possible with the core that I already have. If I'm a bad team, possibly a non-playoff team, I will likely tank as hard as I can because Shaquille O'Neal's in the draft, and even if I don't get him, Alonzo Mourning's pretty good. So I wouldn't mind doing that. So I'm going to stop in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Well, I won't be tanking, I don't think. This is not a team that would need Shaquille O'Neal. This is a team that, in a couple years, wins the championship. So, can I do that? Maybe. I'm trying to think what they add. So in 92 they drafted Ori, 93 they drafted Cassell. And that's really, I mean, all these guys were still on the team, not Buck Johnson. They got Mario Elie. This isn't a great-looking team. I mean, Olajuwon and Thorpe are great on the inside. Kenny and Vernon are good young pieces, but not great defenders. Well, I guess Maxwell's B+. Maxwell shoots a lot of threes. That was another thing hard to get in the simulation. There are some guys that shot, 5 to 7 threes per 36, and the highest you can get someone on here is about 4. I didn't try taking every other tendency down. I guess I could and see what that does, but didn't go that far. So I'm selecting the Rockets. If I go back to the grid, are they selected? Yes. All right. What does this do? I think I'm going to do all that stuff. Everything okay. Rockets are my team. We got the little rundown of what's going to happen. I don't think any of that changed. We will load my 92. As I said, I have 92, 93, 94 ready to go. If you want to take a look just to know who's there. Shaq, Mourning, Jim Jackson, Leitner, Gugliotta, Ellis, Walt Williams, Witherspoon, Robert Ory, Spreewell's down here, P.J. Brown, David Wesley. So, pretty, I think that's where the fake guys start, yeah. Again, similar, all the fake guys are jersey numbers in the 90s, and overalls will be 67 or worse, plus I made them, well, they'll at least be turning 30 by the time the draft happens. Everybody above that's real, so big selection. Not a super deep, it's just a few people at the top, I guess. All right. I was trying to think, like, do I want to try to make any deals, any changes right off the bat, or I think I'm going to wait to see how the real team does. This is their rotation. This is close to what it was in real life, so we'll just go with that and then adjust based on performance. So Olajuwon, just make sure minutes kind of make sense. Olajuwon's 38. 9 is Rollins, that's 47 total. Let's say Thorpe plays another minute of center, so 36 plus 11. So Bullard's only playing a minute at power forward. Oh my god, there's so many power forwards. So Larry Smith and Matt Bullard must be playing mostly small forward. Well, that's good because Buck can play shooting guard. Interesting. Okay, well, we should be good at maybe rebounding. We've got some large people on the court. We got Rudy T as the coach. I don't think I'm gonna mess with any of this unless it helps eventually. All right, to get familiar as well, I'm gonna look at my salary cap. All right, we've got Olajuwon locked up for the duration of what I'll be doing, 4 seasons. That's good stuff. Thorpe as well. So 2 best players are locked up for what would be the duration of my simulation. So that's good. Maxwell I have to make a decision on. Kenny Smith's locked up. Buck Johnson is a free agent. I don't know much about him. He looks decent. Not at threes. He's 41 at those, so not so good. We got Bullard for 3 years. Sleepy Floyd might be tradable, because that's a lot of money to pay an aging backup point guard. So we might have some flexibility. This guy, oh my gosh, why does he make so much money? Okay then. Oh, the other thing I wanted to call out, I don't know if I meant again to look at the default roster, or maybe I did. For some reason, and I think this was true in the last game too, the 91-92 roster, they have the salaries starting of 90-91. So everybody's a year off. So like nobody would be a free agent after the first year if you just went with it. I mean, some people would be, but not like any good people because they all have contracts. Even the rookies, like the rookies have an extra year of salary for some reason. So that was part of the big time adjustment I had to do, was take a year away or adjust everything a year back, or a year forward, however you want to say it. It's kind of interesting. I'm going to go ahead and put Hakeem Olajuwon on the Untouchables. I think he's the only one I'm going to add on the Untouchables. We are... Oh, I can't add my own people to the target list. That used to be... You used to be able to do your own team. Interesting. All right. This is a kind of cool screen where I can keep track of where I am in the standings. I guess I just go ahead and simulate. I'm probably going to do a week at a time and check each game. I'm also not going to worry about practices. I'm just going to let it be the default, because again, I kind of imagine that's what's happening with the other teams. I don't think that's something I can just like turn on or off. Is practices one of the settings? I think they just kind of do their own thing anyway. This is all actual like changes. Yeah, I don't think it's a thing. So, the other thing I need to decide is for all those guys I pointed out that have, well, even Jean Debach here, um, and Magic Johnson and Tony Kukoc, do I extend their time away or do I just let it play out how it would without adjusting it? Maybe I'll take your input on that because I mean, if Arvydas Sabonis starts playing at the end of next season, well, that's pretty early, and that kind of changes things. But it kind of makes it fun too to have more good players available. So, hey, it's an alternate reality. I guess we could go with whatever. All right, I'm going to sim these first two games and see how we start out. Well, we won against the Lakers, who haven't won a game yet. Vernon Maxwell, 35. I don't expect him to do that every time, but I do hope for double-doubles and over 50% shooting from my big guys. That is good stuff. Buck Johnson was 1 for 7. Big game James went off for 37 against me, but lost to the Nuggets. Reggie Williams got 30. Dikembe had 9 blocks in what might have been, well, no, it wouldn't have been his first game, but his second game. Okay, then. Vernon had 38. What is he doing? We had some foul outs from Kenny Smith and Buck Johnson. Olajuwon and Maxwell almost fouled out. We had so many fouls. Oh, I don't know. Does anybody know if the on-the-fly, not the on-the-fly, the conditional coaching works this year? Because I do not know. The bench lineup is supposed to be the one that comes in when things are out of hand, right? I don't know how much this stuff gets used, so I guess I'll just leave it. Okay, let's do another week. Alright, stay above 500. Beat the Blazers by 19. They, in real life, are the best team in the West. And I believe we're in the finals, right? Against the Bulls? I think that's right. So Sleepy Floyd off the bench with 21. This time Maxwell settled down a little bit. Clyde gets 30. Lost by 19 to the Cavs. Hakeem seems to be pretty consistent. Not shooting too many threes, which is fine. Brad Daugherty, 35. Hot Rod down here with 13 boards and 3 blocks. Beat the Suns by 6. All right, let's do another week. 2-1. Oh, we got a trade offer. A top 3 protected from the Jazz, and the Jazz are one of the best teams, so that will not be a good pick. And a fake guy for Buck Johnson. Well, I mean, Buck Johnson for a first rounder might be a fair idea, but not for that one. If I'm going to do for a good team, I'd rather do it for 93 or 94, where they might be worse. So I will decline. Whoops. All right, there's a 29-point win over the Mavericks, who hopefully will be worse than they have been in other simulations. Vernon Maxwell might be my leading scorer. Otis Thorpe scoring a lot too, though. Beat the Lakers twice already. They're 1-7. I don't know what's going on. I don't remember them doing that in simulations. I mean, I guess technically they have control over their rotations now. When I did the simulations, I controlled all the teams and turned injuries off, so it was just the same 10 guys, or 11, or 9, depending on the team, playing every single game. Lost to the Kings. Mitch Richmond with 33. Olajuwon 9 for 22. This was in overtime, so everybody played a whole bunch. All right, I'm going to get through the end of the month and then kind of check on things to see if I want to put anybody in the trade block or anything like that. Maybe look at free agents. That's the other thing I didn't point out. I'll do that once we get to a stopping point here. Maxwell played 40 minutes again because Buck Johnson fouled out in 17 minutes. Patrick Ewing only averaging 21. Let's see about Mason. Oh, 54. Did his tendency change? Shot under basket, 60. That seems fine. Interesting. 7. So it didn't change it? I could swear. Maybe it's a higher cutoff. I don't know. I could swear it was still taking it down because it did it on the last game too. It's not even with a custom roster. It's anytime you advance to a new season, it will adjust that shot under basket tendency to something lower if they're too high. All right, well, hopefully beating the Wolves is going to happen every time we play them. Seems like we foul a lot. We probably are a physical defense team. Oh, of course I said let's beat them every time, and we just lost to them the very next game. Pooh Richardson, yeah, he was averaging like 19 when I was doing it, but he's also playing more than that, I think. All right, one more week here, and then let's take a look at things. Marcus Liberty for Buck Johnson. I don't think that improves me or makes me worse, so let's decline that one. Lost to the Pacers and the Pistons. Barely beat the Nets here. I feel like Vernon Maxwell is definitely averaging more points than Hakeem Olajuwon, and I don't know why. Derek Coleman. Let's see. Pacers are 8 and 9. Reggie had 30. There was one of the simulations I did with him, and everything was so close to real life that I was amazed. Like his 3-point percentage is supposed to be like 38.7 or something like that. His field goal percentage is supposed to be around 50, I think, but it was closer than what these are. Gives me hope that some of it can be pretty real. Rick Smits didn't do much. And then lost by 20 to the Pistons. These are mediocre teams record-wise. Here's Rodman, who's thankfully 6'7", getting 14 boards a game. All right, let's take a look here. We are 4th, even with an 8 and 6 record. Maxwell is averaging 2 more points than Hakeem. Let's see if anything's happened. There were some... The Kings fired their coach on the first day. What? That's a thing? What in the world? Then they signed Kenny Walker, who was playing overseas. Sixers signed John Bagley. Mahorn was playing overseas on the Hawks. He'd be somebody I would have thought of, but I guess I have a bunch of power forwards. Tracy Moore might have actually played for the Mavericks during this season, and the Spurs already re-signed Rod Strickland, making him a part of their future. We do have... Oh, no, we don't. There are no other injuries. I did turn them on, didn't I? It's just the suspensions and personal reasons. I was pretty sure I turned them on. Is it this one? No. Which one is injuries under? General. Injuries on. I turned career ending down. I turned the frequency down to 25. So why aren't there any of them? Interesting. Okay. Well, Hakeem did get a player of the week. Clyde and the Admiral are getting the others in the West. In the East, it's been 5 different people each week. Ewing and Drexler, Larry Johnson and Dikembe, they will be getting a lot of those. Let's go ahead and look at player stats. So Maxwell's scoring a whole lot. Is he shooting more? He's shooting a lot more than he probably should be. I don't know why. Hakeem is doing like the same thing, just shooting a lot better, which means he's shooting less probably. Well, barely. Not enough free throws. I'm not going to change that though. I just need to look at the stats and see if people are performing about what they should or better so that I can keep them on the team. So Maxwell's a big yes. Olajuwon, Thorpe shooting 57%. I'll definitely take that. Sleepy Floyd, I think, is going on the trade block. 34%. He's making too much money. Got a couple of years left. Bullard on the fringe. He's also got a 3-year deal, but he's not super expensive. This guy's only got 1 year, and I don't feel like he's my starting small forward for the future. Tree Rollins shooting 35%. So we can probably adjust some minutes. But first, let's just see what Sleepy Floyd gets us. Well, we don't need another. Well, that would replace Tree Rollins, actually. Manute Bull would be kind of fun. There's a first-round pick, lottery protected 93. The Bucks are not great, but not awful. Bullets, Livingston. Maybe if I put Floyd and Buck Williams together, then I don't have a backup point guard, though. Sherman Douglas, much younger. Randy Brown's much younger and really good at defense. Top 3 for the Knicks. I don't know. Trades, I might wait till closer to the deadline. Pistons lottery protected. Well, that was the year they ended up getting Grant Hill, so I think they'll probably be better than what they were in real life. Avery Johnson is someone the Rockets actually did trade for during this season, I believe. He's not shooting very well, but that would be an interesting idea. Not that I want to repeat what the real teams did. A first-round pick, though, although that is outside of my window of 4 years, I could still use that for future. Also, that's the Warriors. In 95, they got the #1 pick of Joe Smith. Obviously, things can really change in this simulation, but I'm just saying. All right, let's see what the 2 of them get. There is another backup point guard. They just signed him. How is that even... I didn't think that was an option to trade people you just signed. Steve Kerr and Danny Ferry. Who would be my starting small forward? Nobody? Matt Bullard? Like, I'm trading the 2 positions I need to upgrade, so I actually probably should be trading one of those extra power forwards I have. Because these are not... Spud Webb has only a 1-year deal, so sacrificing a second-round pick for him doesn't sound terrible. Probably need to keep Buck Johnson, though. Can I trade Sleepy in a second for Spud Webb? Could also trade my first if I think I'm going to be good. John Sally and a first because he's making a lot of money. That is not a position I need, but getting a first would be kind of cool. Yeah, they're trading some big contracts, which, I mean, for a win-now team, I wouldn't mind taking on bigger contracts. I don't know if I'm going to sign anybody. I could trade Larry Smith and try to Make Herrera play more. What about Larry Smith and Buck Johnson? Trying to upgrade a small forward. Or possibly a backup point guard, and then I flip it around. Bulls first. Danny Ferry can play small forward. I don't know that I'd want him starting at small forward. Doc Rivers is an upgrade at backup point guard. Johnny Newman would be an upgrade at starting small forward. That's not bad. He doesn't. I need a good defender, I would say. There's Spud again. That's not bad, because then I could trade Floyd and somebody else for a small forward, potentially. But I think I wait till closer to the deadline, and maybe some teams that are selling will give me better deals. But I just want to see what's out there so I will know whether it's a better deal or not. Benoit, I don't know how he said it. Alright. Well, I am still going to do a little rotation change. I feel like Maxwell should play even more based on... Can he play more? Floyd's playing 19. Floyd's the only guy down here that plays guard, right? Yes. So that's 14 and 14 is 28. So yes. No. Oh, Buck Johnson's playing. That's right. Well, let's do that. Because Buck is cold. Sleepy's super cold. But none of these guys are doing great either. I'm going to take one away from Rollins because he's struggling. Thorpe's evidently fouling out or something. Let's give it to Carl. Alright, very slight changes. There's not going to be a mock draft yet. Let's get through another month and check on things. Oh, we will have our first look at scouting. Let's go ahead and how many spots do I have? We have 5 only. Oh. Well, let's try to be realistic about where we're drafting and who we might want. So a point guard and a small forward seem to be the things we are looking for. We will go with Robert Horry, maybe Tracy Murray. A backup power forward and center would be great. So let's go with PJ Brown, and then I guess go with that. Kenny Payne and Theron Mays, however you say his first name, for Buck Johnson. That's a big no. We did beat the Jazz and the Nuggets. That's good. Nuggets are 2 and 15. Not sure what's happening with them. I mean, they're not supposed to be very good, but I think they're supposed to be better than 2 and 15. 22 rebounds for Otis Thorpe. Walter Davis leading their team. Lost by 19 to the Hawks. Vernon Maxwell again scoring a whole bunch of points. We got fouling out for Thorpe, Hakeem, and Buck Johnson. Fouling a lot. There's Rick Mahorn. So they signed him to be the backup power forward, it looks like. Because they've got Rasmussen and Willis. I don't know who their backup power forward was. Jazz are 17 and 3, and we gave them one of those losses. Good stuff. All right, a first, lottery protected, and Bedford for Sleepy and a second. Not yet. Beat the Blazers, beat the Warriors, and the Spurs. Those are good Western Conference teams to be beating. We have just as many losses as the Blazers. Drexler continues to shoot 60%. That's one of those things that's hard to fix for the slashers and dunkers like Jordan and Drexler and Wilkins and those guys. They shoot really, really good percentages on this game. So if you can draft one, you should, or trade for one or whatever. Warriors are 10 and 10. I think in previous simulations they were below 500. So if they can get above 500, that'd be good. Mullen, is he playing more? No. So he is fouling too much, but I don't know what's going on. Well, I guess they can also change their rotation, so who knows. Kenny Smith, 30 points, 15 assists. Look at that. Sleepy Floyd was 0 for 10, so if he's not asking to be traded, I don't know what he's doing. We're pretty much the same record as the Spurs. Buck Johnson fouls a lot. Hakeem was fouling David Robinson a whole lot. Let's hopefully whoop on the Kings and Magic and Bullets. We'll keep on with the same guys, I think, till they're at 100%. Probably need to get a new scout pretty soon. Well, there's 8 wins in a row for the Rockets. Beat the Bullets by 20. They're pretty terrible. Let's see, in real life, did they draft Gugliotta? I always get it mixed up. Was Gugliotta a rookie with the Bullets or the Warriors? No, it wasn't for very long. That Vernon Maxwell is a scoring machine. Michael Adams shooting way too good. 29 points over the Kings. We got 4 guys with 20 points. Thorpe didn't miss a shot. Mitch Richmond got 33 points. 16 over the Hornets. In the first simulation I did, they were like the #1 seed in the East, so I had some fixing to do for them. And now they're close to where they should be, not usually in the playoffs. We got Larry Smith, 14 points in 15 minutes. Interesting. Nick Anderson, what's he get? Only 13 points a game. Vernon Maxwell's at the top of this list a whole lot. All right, can we... These are not great teams, so we could extend this winning streak. Let's see. Whooped on the Mavericks, the Nets. That's the same thing, except... Is it the same thing, or was there like a second-round pick involved too? I don't remember. Lost by 2 to the Bullets, so still a good stretch there. Vernon and Hakeem both with 30 plus. Vernon Maxwell is going to be like an all-star, it seems. Holy moly, like I said. Hey, Sleepy Floyd had a good game. It's random. Lost in DC to a not good Bullets team. I think in my simulations, the most improved player every single time was either Purvis Ellison or Doug West, Minnesota. Seriously, why does Maxwell get 30 points every time? Whoops. Beat the Bucks only by 1. Moses Malone getting 21 boards, age 36. Thorpe and Maxwell fouled out. All right, let's just get to the new year here. Lost to the Cavs. I'm going to go ahead and choose some different people because I think those guys will slowly start going up. Let's try price. Thinking about where guys may fall down to and where I'm going to be drafting. Maybe like a Doug Christie. Oh, Popeye. And a couple centers here. All right, the Cavs are pretty good over in the East. All right, I don't even know if Olajuwon's averaging 20 anymore. Let's see, we are third now. He is averaging 21.2. Still behind Vernon. His rebounds went down a little bit. Over in the East, it's Bulls, Celtics, Pacers are third. I have to remember they are doing different things. They've possibly signed people. The Pacers re-signed Rick Smits. The Heat re-signed Bimbo. Mavs re-signed Blackman. The Warriors re-signed Rod Higgins. There have been a couple trades. Rick Mahorn, who just got signed, traded with John Koncak to the Nuggets for Kevin Brooks and Scott Hastings. Chucky Brown goes from the Cavs to the Magic for Greg Kite. I'm going to go see. I thought there was a rule for trades. Wherever that is. I have a really hard time knowing where. A recently signed restriction. Disabling this allows players to be traded immediately after signing free agent contracts. So it's on, and yet they are trading people who got signed. So I don't know. All right. Are there any injuries? No. I don't know what's happening. I guess that's okay, but kind of weird. MVPs. Hakeem is in the list. Pretty good list, I would say. Rookie of the Year. Chris Gatling's kind of random. Usually Billy Owens is in this instead of him. And who else? Steve Smith. Where's he? Six man. Detlef Schrempf wins this a lot. I'm trying to remember who else has. I think Sean Kemp won it once, but they might be starting him. I don't know. Defensive player, Hakeem is second. Most improved, there's Purvis and West, like I said. Clutch was not a thing. I'm surprised they had that still in this. Like, they added it to the game, sure, but why is it around in 91, 92? I do not know. Still really good people on this list. All Hall of Famers except for, what, Brad Daugherty? Sean Kemp in the Hall of Fame? Maybe not. Player of the Month, MJ and Robinson. Rookies, again, LJ and Dikembe. All right, the free agents is the thing I was going to look at. So you saw some of the guys that got signed. This was the thing that was kind of lacking in the roster I downloaded, so I added a bunch of people that were playing overseas at the time. So if I go by position, like Vinny Del Negro had already played like a season in the league, but was playing in Italy or something like that. So put him on the free agent list. And some of the other guys were signed either during the season or appeared at some point. So there aren't that many. There's probably at least 8 of each position, I would say. Yeah. Or players like John Long, who I don't know if he was playing overseas or if he was just retired. He came back and played in a later season, so I went ahead and added him. Ralph Sampson played, I want to say, for the Kings at some point during the season. So not like a bunch of upgrades, but there are decent players here. Like I wouldn't mind signing Vinny Del Negro. He could be my backup point guard for Sleepy Floyd. Actually, why? Let's just consider that. Let's take a look at stats here. Vernon's doing awesome. How are his threes looking? 33%. Olajuwon's looking great. Thorpe's looking great. He gets no blocks. I guess he doesn't really get blocks. You'd think for a 6'10 guy. I mean, I would go for maybe a 0.3 instead of a 0.1. Kenny Smith's shooting pretty well. Threes, not so much. Sleepy's still struggling. Buck Johnson's still about the same thing. Bullard's about the same thing. Herrera's gotten better. So has Larry Smith. Tree's still under 40%. I need, like, maybe just signing Del Negro, period, would be a good idea. I need some guard depth. A better backup center. Herrera doesn't play it. Yeah, it's just Tree. Uh-oh. He's 74. Ralph Sampson. We could bring Ralph Sampson back to Houston. That's funny. All right, let's just do another little trade finder here. Let's try Sleepy. Might be a little different. Top 3 from the Hawks. Kevin Edwards. That's an upgrade. He's 3 better, 4 younger, and cheaper. I have no idea why the Heat would do this. Jazz picks are not good ones. Firsts are nice, especially when you're trading backups. Alright, well what if we add in... Larry Smith's actually doing well, but I kind of want to try just like... If we make the money higher, we might be able to get somebody better back. John Paxson, I don't think the Bulls would do that. Kerr and Ferry. Nate McMillan would be a great backup point guard. Lots of defense. And there would be a good backup center. But then we wouldn't have a small forward. And Bullard's my backup small forward. There weren't great small forwards on the free agent list like Donald Royal, who might have played for the Rockets. I don't know. Corbin is a better starting small forward than Buck Johnson. And Brooks is better than Floyd. Corbin has a 5-year deal. That's rough. Higgins and Lister. Alright, before I add a pick in here, let's do one more look at these two together. The other way I know I could do it is go look for what I actually want, which probably be more something I do at the trade deadline. I mean, that's not awful. Sally could be my backup center, but I'd still need to replace these two. There'd be my backup point guard. He's shooting even worse. That's not good. Alright, let's... What picks do I have? I didn't even look at that. We don't have our 94 first. That's gone. But we have an extra second over the next couple years. Let's see, does that second give us anything different? Bembo, Coles, and Sherman Douglas. Don't need 2 point guards, just the one. George McLeod would be an upgrade at small forward, and LaSalle would be my backup center, and then I sign Vinny Del Negro. LaSalle's younger than Tree Rollins, definitely doing better. That's probably one of the better ones I've seen. This one I still don't mind, other than I don't know what I'd do at small forward. So let me add them to the trade block. Let's add Floyd, let's add Buck Johnson, and let's just go ahead and add that second for fun. And these guys down here I need to remember I can throw in too. If I can get anything for them, I might trade them. I don't even know who Kennard Winchester is. He's real, though. He played, I think, a season. Let's add him. If I can get anything for those guys, they'll likely be traded. Is there anybody else, small forward-wise? Donald Royal. Albert King. Not really. Get him. He played for the Rockets for a bit. Alright, I guess we'll keep going. I mean, we're looking pretty good. Let me look. Is there a mock draft now that we've done some scouting? Oh, yeah. Nuggets possibly getting Shaq to go with the Kembe. They have the 4th pick, too. Because the Nets are not good. Holy moly. Rockets are down here. Possibly getting Sam Mack, who did play for the Rockets for a little bit, I believe. Well, Vernon Maxwell's not on the trade block, guys. I might as well just add him to the Untouchables right now. He's amazing. Lost and lost. Alright, well, adding people to trade block maybe hurts the chemistry. I don't know. Sippy Floyd, 3 for 10. Dumars scored 30 points. What's Rodman at rebounds now? 14 and a half. Lost by 11. That was... The Spurs are right behind us in the standings. Sidney Green and Tony Massenberg for Floyd. I feel like I can get something better than that. Lottery protected and Trent Tucker. This is the Suns. 94. Well, it depends on if they get Charles Barkley. They probably won't. I'm going to say no, though, to that one. Lost to the Heat and the Sonics. Beat the Hawks, though, who are pretty good. I don't see Rick Mahorn. Isn't this team Rick Mahorn was on? Oh, they traded him. That's right. They got Scott Hastings, who's now not playing. Oh, they got Kevin Brooks, who is playing. Guess they wanted a backup small forward. Olajuwon finally leading the team. Beat the Sixers. That's a team that was doing too well. Like they won a couple championships in my simulations, I think. At least one. Barkley got himself an MVP. But they're supposed to be below 500, which I think is why Charles Barkley leaves the Sixers. Losing to the Heat is not a good thing. They're not very good, according to their record. All right. I feel like I do want to maybe go ahead and sign Vinny Del Negro as a backup plan, at least. Oh, I can't. Okay, cool. I'm pretty sure he would be fine with it. Daryl Armstrong probably wants... Is there anybody willing to take the minimum here, guys? Not really? Well, that was a big part of the plan, was having enough money to sign one of these guys. Vinnie Johnson will. He can play point guard. He's 35. He is a system match. He's like the best system match in the whole list. So let's go ahead and sign Vinnie Johnson. Gives us some options at the backup guards spots. Okay. That probably changed some of this. Or maybe not. Let's go ahead and get him at least active over Winchester. And possibly playing. He just took Trey Rollins' number. I don't like that. We don't be switching numbers in the middle of the season. Was Vinnie Johnson, wasn't he like 25? Let's look that one up. Dear Basketball Reference. What number was Vinnie Johnson? 25, cool. I don't make things up. Well, I do, but not that one. There we go. Well, he might, I'll go this next week. He might be in the rotation over Bullard or Smith, because first of all, he's just as good as them, but we've got lots of power forwards and centers. I guess it could be Herrera too, but he's shooting 47%. We need a better center is what we need. All right, let's do... Did I make sure the minutes were right? Seems okay. He's playing more than I give him, probably because I don't have guards. I feel like Herrera should be playing more than Bullard. But he has to play that because he can play small forward. We only have so many big man minutes. We've got 10 plus 11 is 21, and they're taking 20. So I guess... Well, we could actually take Rollins down because Thorpe can play center. Oh, whatever. We're going to do something different with Vinnie Johnson here in a minute anyway, so... Kerr and a first for Maxwell. No thanks. Alright, did those other ones move at all? No. I thought maybe they went up like 1% or so each time, but I guess not. Where are we at mock-wise? Draft projection. Well, we're probably not going to have the 8th pick. We're going to be more... Let's keep it around there. We're going to be more around... What is it? There's 27 teams in the league at this point. We're going to be in the bottom 10, I would think. So let's keep with these guys, I guess. Buck Johnson for a unprotected first and a fake guy. That's closer to what I'm going to want to do if I'm not going to get a decent player, but not yet. They just offered that on the day we played them, and we beat them. Beat the Nuggets. Vinnie Johnson did play a minute. Congratulations, because Kenny Smith fouled out. At least Dikembe didn't block me 9 times that time. Beat the Warriors. He's still playing 32 minutes for some reason. Beat the Jazz. That's a big one. They are ahead of us in the standings. We've held Karl Malone to 8 points on 9 shots. Alright, where's the deadline? It's somewhere in here, right? 28th, probably. So we're getting close. And he's not getting any better. Is this going to change at all? D. Brown was not on there before, but also they're taking Vinnie Johnson. That Winchester guy for sure is expendable, especially if it upgrades me to Doc Rivers. He does have a 3-year deal. It's a little cheaper than Floyd. I'd get a third center, which is helpful. That's a pick and a fake guy. Don't put Vinnie Johnson on there. Mark Eaton and a first. I don't know why the Jazz would do that. They're first in the West and they're going to trade their starting center? Okay. Well, I assume they're first. They might not be first. They might be second. Avery and Sidney Green. Andrew Lang. I still don't mind the idea of Manute Bol as my backup center. It'd be kind of cool. That's a first from the Bulls. That's not any good. A couple centers. Edwards and Sunvold. Wow. First and Eaton again there. Kiki. He could start. So Avery again. Still shooting terribly. Andrew Lang as a backup center. He is shooting close to 50%. But as a backup center with Hakeem Olajuwon, he's only playing 10 minutes. So I don't need somebody amazing. I just need somebody better than Tree Rollins. Trade for Nate McMillan and then trade Floyd for a small forward would be the idea, but I'd need to know I can get Floyd for a small forward. All right, let's just do a quick look through the league to see if there's somebody that jumps out that would just be perfect, like for my team. Like Sean Elliott, yes, would be perfect, but I'm assuming they're going to want lots, or they won't even be willing to do it because they're good. Probably same with guys. Yeah, I'm not trading Otis Thorpe. Sabalos would be interesting, but they still want Otis Thorpe. So starting small forward and then backup point guard and center is kind of what I'm looking for. So Webb did get traded. So that makes McMillan even more expendable. I feel like Nate McMillan might be part of what we do. I don't know why they would trade for Spud Webb when they have McMillan and Barros behind Gary Payton. Thorpe seems to be somebody I need to put on the Untouchables because he's going to be in everything I do, it looks like. A first-round pick for Tyrone Corbin? I don't think so. What about like Luke Longley as a backup center? I should not have to trade a first-round pick, guys. That's a little better. Robert Pack. Why is Vernon Maxwell on the screen? Floyd and Rollins for Pack and Cooper. Saves me some money. My 92 for their 94. Alton Lister would be a bit... Well, he's kind of the same overall as Tree Rollins. He's actually one worse and makes more money, so never mind. It's kind of about how they play, though. Jason Williams is evidently... That's not terrible. Manute is who we were looking at, though. Larry Smith and Tree Rollins for Manute and Wiggins. Buck and Rollins for Manute and Payne. Floyd and Winchester. Maybe I can just do Floyd and Winchester for Bull. Or maybe just Floyd for Bull. Is that an option? Huh. I mean, he's not doing bad. So Manute Bull is on the list of potential targets. I don't think I want any of those guys. The Bulls do have a lot of backup big guys that for some reason everybody wants Vinnie Johnson. Don't know why that's a thing. He's probably, yeah, he's too young. We've got Shaw and Brown that did pop up. I wouldn't mind either of them. Shaw makes more money. That's a first. What if... I feel like that's close to being something, but I still feel like I'd rather have Nate McMillan, if that's an option. I just need to know what my small forward plan is going to be. That should probably be the priority, is small forward, because I at least have Vinnie Johnson as a backup plan to be my backup point guard. But I haven't seen anybody that really jumps out to me as like, yes, that should be my starting small forward. Johnny Newman was one of the better guys that popped up that we might be able to work something out. The Kings got Michael Cage for Spud Webb, it looks like. Interesting. Kiki. Any chance we can get Dennis Scott? No. That's not the defense we're looking for. Oh, let's see. Chris Morris. That's not bad. Morris is 26. Decent defense. Shooting 50%. Can kind of make a three. Chris Morris is an option. George McLeod is one of the other options. He doesn't play as good a defense, but might be easier to get. Maybe not. Alright, so Chris Morris might have been the best we could do. Can we get like a pick with him potentially? They can't trade that one, but they can trade that one. Whoa, okay. Yes, I know how trades work. Yep. Yep. Alright. Yep. Thanks. Oops. Don't want Chris. Actually, Chris Dudley might not be terrible. I don't want to trade that. I don't want to trade that. I want to trade you Sleepy Floyd. And you can have John Turner. I didn't realize, I forgot to do mentors. Oops. Well, oh, they have a full team, so I have to take somebody back. Well, I don't know who this is, but a third center. What's wrong with it? Or too much money? Because Chris Morris doesn't make that much money. Oh. Well, let's go back. And what was it they were actually trying to do for us? Let's do that. Buck and Turner. Well, that's pretty close to what we want to do. That gives us Judd Bushler as well. It's 3 one-year deals for 3 one-year deals. But we get 1 overall better here and 2 younger. Is there anybody else? What about Dudley? Buck, Smith, and Turner. Well, that doesn't seem too bad either. Dudley shoots terribly. Never mind. Alright, and last thing, just to make sure, what is it that I need to have free for Nate? Buck and Herrera. Is there any chance of getting... Oh god, no. Buck and my first. I feel like Buck just straight up might be pretty close. So not trading Buck for my small forward. Alright, I'm going to keep going till the deadline. Tellis Frank in a second. No thanks. They're trying to get Thorpe with Simmons and Tisdale. That's kind of a cool trade. That does give me a starting small forward, but I don't want to trade Otis Thorpe. He was an all-star in this season. Gaddison is more of a position I don't need. Did lose to the Bulls, but we beat the Bucks by 22. And the Clippers by 10. Oh, I meant to put Penny Johnson in. Oops. Bulls are 33-9. That seems much closer to what they should be doing. Michael Jordan's pretty good. What's Grant shooting? 46%. His under basket is 75. I don't know what's going on. Alright, I'm going to put Vinnie Johnson in for... Probably should be him, but... Tree Rollins is awful. So let's put him in for Tree Rollins because we can let Thorpe play the backup center minutes. Who else is struggling? Bullard. And Floyd, obviously. Let's see what old Vinnie Johnson can do for the Rockets. For this one game, probably. Randy White. Alright, we got some 100% players now. Probably need to look at people outside the lottery. Where is the trade deadline? That's Harvey Grant and LeBradford. Oh, it's for Kenny. Never mind. I was hoping it was for people actually out on the trade block. Okay, would you like to stop simulating? Why, yes, I would before I play the Bulls. We got a 9-point win, thankfully, over Minnesota. Vinnie Johnson, well, he shot 9 times. Had 5 fouls in 21 minutes because Vernon fouled out in 18. We had Thorpe fouling out, 30 points. Hakeem played 41 minutes. This is a weird game. Alright, so we are at the place where we've got to do a trade here. Alright, I'm going to put up Buck and one of these guys down here I want to trade. Probably Winchester. And look for, hopefully, Nate McMillan. Manute Bol, though. Alright. Doc Rivers was another guy. He does have a 3-year, pretty expensive contract. Buck was needed for McMillan, and then we'll give Floyd for a small forward. That's still kind of hard to ignore, too, but the Jazz are going to be good forever. Lang there. Oh! Straight up. Cool. And it gives me a roster spot to sign somebody because they can absorb an extra guy. So his field goal percentage isn't great, but his defense is amazing. He's not going to nail a lot of threes. He's a decent passer, but perimeter D is 86, steals 93, lateral quickness, everything defensively were his grades. A+. Playmaking's A-. So that's what we're getting him for. He's still shooting much better than Sleepy Floyd, so we are going to do Buck Johnson and Kennard Winchester for Nate McMillan. If we can take a second, then great. Possibly from a team that's not very good. We're not interested. They want a 96 first for Marty Conlon. I don't think so. $92 first for Marty Conlon. What if I just do this? Will it? 2 seconds. So my 93 and my 95 for the Lakers 96. That doesn't sound great. Do I have to trade Winchester? Will it just do this? They want a second. Well, I think I'd rather trade Winchester because that frees up a spot for a guy that's not going to play. Now they're going to add more things. So I have to cancel it and go back in because there's no way to just go back to do what I was trying to do in the first place. Naming button. There we go. Alright, we got ourselves a backup point guard. But now we need to get ourselves a starting small forward by trading Sleepy Floyd, who's up 2. And maybe Turner. Jamerson has a longer deal, so I guess I'd rather trade him. Floyd and Turner for a small forward. Or Floyd, sorry, Jamerson. If Chris Morris pops up, it would be wonderful. Greg Anthony is someone who was not popping up before. Kiki Vandeweghe is still not a terrible option. The Nets aren't even on the list. John Sally and a first. Alright, so what if I add in... Well, I could add in Tree Rollins. I guess he's a mentor, maybe, with his big 4 badges. Let's try Turner first. More point guards. Brewer and George. Okay, so they don't like... Let's just do Floyd and see what pops up. And there's Manu again. I kind of like the idea of having Thorpe play my backup center, though. Trading him for a first. If he's not going to get me a great small forward, or a good small forward, a first round pick's pretty good. Eden's retiring, so this is pretty much trading Floyd for their first, which, again, they're good, so not very smart. The Nets, again, are not on the list. Well, Larry Smith's been more impressive than I imagined. Bullard is pretty cheap with his 3-year deal, it looks like. Let's just see if Larry does the trick for anything better. Looks like pretty much the same stuff. Sally in a first. Well, the other option is to trade that. See if that changes anything. It's possible that it won't. I kind of want to keep my first. Just because it looks like there's going to be a chance to get a decent rotation player. Kiki and a first. That looks like something I might want to consider. The Knicks are good, but getting somebody that can start for me, he can't play defense, I don't think. No. He's the end of his career. Spurs trading there first. So I can get first from good teams, which makes sense. There's some logic behind that. Just trying different combinations to see if anything special pops up. Because as you can see, when I go look for someone specific, it usually tries to take my good people. So there was something as well. Getting rid of 2 seconds for McLeod, and then LaSalle has a terrible contract. Get out of here with that. Oh boy. So that's why I wouldn't want to get him, but if I could get McLeod, that's a whole lot of threes. 79, but probably, well, 72 is not awful at defense. Oh, did I try just him with Turner? Again, every once in a while, if you just do different combinations, different things pop up. So that's all I'm trying. You can see it's similar. I think if I want Chris Morris, I'm going to have to just not force it, but do the manual offer. So let's go click Chris Morris. I don't know if it works. Can I click Floyd and then click Morris? Will it like make him a part of it? That would be cool, but I don't think so. Turner and Smith, Turner and Maxwell, Thorpe and Rollins, McMillan and Turner. Okay, well that's closest from a value perspective. I don't want to trade him. Turner for Morris, perfect. All right, they have a contract issue. So they're over the cap. So I got to take somebody worth like closer to $1 million. That's not very good. Like Rambus. He cannot be traded again because he came from the Suns. Well, cool. Well, I don't know if I can do this then. That's why they were putting those other guys on my side and not Sleepy Floyd. But is there a chance that I can make them add up if I give you Turner? He's a star and a half. Jamerson's only a star. If I give you some of these guys lower on the list, what if I trade you that? And that. And that. Man. Well, Chris Morris was going to be a decent ad, but now we're going to have to figure out something else. Because I need a small forward. I can't stop here because I need a small forward. I gave the Sonics Buck Johnson, and they definitely did not need a small forward. But I also took a point guard away, and they didn't need any of those, so I don't know what they're doing. They don't have a backup power forward, so can I have him? Whoops. All right. Should I think about teams that are bad? Like Corbin, if he didn't have 5 years, would be more attractive. He's not. He is okay at defense. Corbin, maybe. Thinking about teams that aren't very good that would be willing to trade somebody, maybe. With their eyes on the future. Oh, Rick Fox would be cool. More of my eyes on the future. Rick Fox, can I manage that? Gamble makes more sense money-wise. Oh. Can you play defense? B. Kevin Gamble. If I give them Floyd, it'd probably be pretty close. He'd be one of their better point guards, or their best point guard, actually. Ken Norman is a B. He's a B plus. Oh, it says right there, B plus. Oh, okay. Newman was somebody that seemed possible. They don't really need a point guard. And I'm taking their best small forward. I have Del Curry. Not so much. Newman. 3-year deal. Simmons was in one of the offers. He's 82. He scores quite a bit. I don't know that we need that. Kiki's just so bad at defense. And my guards are not great at it, so I'd rather not have a small forward that can't play it. Well, this is taking a little longer than I expected. McLeod was another guy. Floyd and Vinny. Bullard and Floyd. Oh. Alright, this said 72, I think, yeah. I mean, he's 24. He's got a year left. I would think they would like to have Floyd. Well, they're pretty good at point guard, but they also don't need another small forward. Mark Aguirre. And a first? If I can get Mark Aguirre, he doesn't shoot threes, that's fine. He's decent at defense. He's got not a great contract left, but neither does Floyd. So let's take McMillan off, first of all. Sleepy Floyd. And, well, if you wanted Larry Smith, I guess that's an option. I'd rather give you him. So, not 840. Let's do that. Whoops. What did that say? They think they have themselves a championship contender. I'm telling you, you don't. Because you've never, I don't even think they made the Eastern Conference Finals in any of my simulations. Alright, so we were down to Corbin or McLeod. It's a 5-year deal. I mean, it does give me flexibility with trading him. He doesn't score as much, which is probably better. Let's see. Let's get rid of Dudley, get rid of McMillan, add Floyd. Alright, 75 for 77. Close, seems. Is there anybody else we want from their team? If Chris Dudley didn't shoot 35%, He'd be an option. Fake guys. I think maybe we just try a second round pick. Really? Or they have a roster spot open. Do you want that guy? I guess you do. Alright. So now we have space to sign somebody. I'm going to be realistic here because, whoops. We are going to start Bullard. Be realistic and not let players play as soon as they got traded. Let at least a game pass by. They shouldn't even be active, but of course, so that means these guys have to add up to 48 because they play small forward. He plays small forward though, so not necessarily. Alright, Olajuwon, he's playing 10 at center, which means 27 at power forward. Let's do Herrera for 21. Let's give him 10 then. And then Vinnie Johnson's going to play a whole lot. He can play a little bit more. 13 plus 12 is 25. Vinny's going to get his minutes at age 35. Actually, maybe not quite that much. We might lose this game, but we're trying to build something here. Alright, we got to fix Corbin's number. And sign some people. What positions do we need? We need a guard and a wing. These guys are playing my backups. We need a guard and a wing. Preferably, well, Vinnie Johnson's kind of the third point guard, so it'd probably be a shooting guard depending on who's here. Can we afford him yet? We can. We freed up some space to afford Vinny Del Negro, so let's get him possibly to a 2-year deal. Do that. All right. And a wing. I don't mind Donald Royal, as long as he's willing. Will we take the minimum? Yes, he would. All right. So now let's adjust some numbers. Corbin has been 33 and 23, maybe. Yes. He can't be 23 and he can't be 33. What about 32? Let's just reverse them. All right. Vinny Del Negro, we already got 15 taken. He's been 8 as well. McMillan's 10, Royals 5. I think that's all good to go then. Alright, so now I'm curious. If we look position-wise, we've got Kenny Smith with his backup McMillan kind of locked up. Del Negro we just got as a third, kind of, well, he could play point guard or shooting guard. Vinnie Johnson's not a long-term. Maxwell we have to figure out if we re-sign or go spend our money elsewhere. Corbin, depending on how he plays, might be trade bait in the off season. I guess we could put Turner out there on the trade block with like Smith to see like maybe it gets us some upgrade. Might as well try, I guess. Because he's not playing. Smith's playing all right. Manute Bull showed up again. It would take away our flexibility in free agency next year. First round pick. All right, let's try just Smith. Mark Eaton just keeps on popping up. Maybe Smith and a second. Like that. I kind of want to do that because then he's my backup center. And who? Herrera wouldn't play? Well, I'd have a choice between Bullard and Herrera. Although Bullard's my backup small forward. I don't know. Like, they're the same overall, and he's making more money for an extra year. That's probably enough trades for a contending team. Alright, so we'll do this for one game. I'm going to put Tabak higher. Trying to keep these guys from playing. Trying to keep it real here. All right. 9-man rotation for one game and one game only. Against the Bulls, we're going to get slaughtered. All right. We don't need that on the trade block anymore. Oh my god, we won. Okay. Kenny Smith, 21 points. Vinny Johnson got 17 points in that game. We gave him all those minutes. Larry Smith fouled out in 15 minutes. Held Jordan under 20. All right, now let's. Corbin's active. McMillan's active. Probably over him. We're going to let Corbin be a backup to start out. Vinny doesn't need that many for sure. And then probably Bullard needs to play even less. We'll maybe leave him at 35. Him at 36. So 13 and 12 would be my guards. 13 and 12. And then after this game, I think we'll shift Corbin into the starting lineup. Get them a little feel for it. Feeling better about the depth of my team. It didn't really get any better at the top, I guess. But hopefully there'll be players that play better. your 10-man again. Alright, see if we can beat the Suns. We did, same exact score. This one was an away game. KJ had 5 steals. Alright, how'd these guys do in their first games? Corbin, 4 points, 3 rebounds. McMillan got a couple blocks and a steal. Perfect. Missed both his free throws, though. Alright, and now we will let Corbin start. And he's going to gradually play more. His board has not been great. And then switch these guys. Gradually get McMillan more. Alright, I was going to stop and look at stuff. Well, I guess I can look at the All-Star voting before they're... No, they've already been named. I'll just keep going. Lost to the Pacers. So beat the Bulls, lost the Pacers by 17. Was a record? Just over 500. Corbin's first start, he's the second scorer because he got to the line a whole bunch. Maxwell fouled out. Beat the Celtics. Wow. We were like tied. I think our records were the same going into that game. Kenny Smith. And beat the Knicks. All right. We had Maxwell foul out. Still wondering why there aren't any injuries. But let's see what else happened here around the league. Alright, those were my signings. And then the Magic got Ralph Sampson. Okay. There was the Spud for Cage trade. Ed Pinckney got a first-round pick from the Knicks. Sam Bowie for Kurt Rambis. Dudley for Brewer. And then there's my trades. There's still no injuries. Don't understand. Alright, award races. Hakeem's third now. Stanley Roberts is moving on up that list. Hakeem's second in that. Mark Jackson's in that. We've had Hakeem get it one more time. Still really good players in this list. Barkley and Hakeem gets his first player of the month. LJ Mutombo yet again. And our All-Stars for the East looking pretty good. Most of these guys were real All-Stars. I think everybody but Larry Johnson, maybe. For the West, Hakeem is starting. Maxwell did not make it. Let's see, are they starting Sean Kemp? Yes. Dunk contest. 3 points. Nobody from the Rockets. We got the rookies. This was something I was happy to see. They fixed it to where it's actually rookies and sophomores now, instead of a collection of rookies and sophomores on either team. Alright, now that we're at the break, let's make this more of the permanent looking lineup. Again, Kenny Smith's doing amazing things. Maxwell's doing amazing things. Corbin we can give some more minutes to. So let's just go ahead and take some of these down. Let's just redo kind of the lineup. Get everybody to 10 down here and then we'll figure it out. Corbin, Gonna be more like 28 to 30 probably. Maybe 30. Because I don't have a great backup. He's only playing 32 because he fouls a whole bunch. Alright, so if we just go straight by position, my backup center is Thorpe. So let's say Herrera, that's 10. Backup power forward is Smith. And I think I'd rather play Herrera. That's 11. My backup small forward is at 18. But he's not playing as well as Smith. So we can take those down. And then probably more like 15 for McMillan. So it's going to be pretty even down here. And Rollins is awful, so actually, if we give more to Herrera, that's fine, right? What if we make Nate our 6th man? And we do something like that. Very even down here. Vinnie Johnson is good overall wise. Might change things in the playoffs, who knows. Alright, let's get through here. Lost by 28. Or, well, the rookies won by 28, is what I meant to say. This is the rookie team. This is the winning team. Annihilating the sophomores. Looks like the MVP is probably going to Steve Smith. Those 3 threes, 5 boards, 4 assists, sure. We got Sean Kemp and Glenn Rice winning. And, oh my, slaughtering. The West wins by 43. Olajuwon 16 and 7. Probably giving the MVP to Clyde Drexler. Nobody doing much on the East. Alright, let's get through this a little faster here. Well, I guess I can just finish off the guys I already had. Lost to the Clippers. Whooped on the Sonics, though. 28 points over the Sonics. We got 4 guys with 20 points. It's the second time that's happened. Vinnie Johnson got 15 points in 11 minutes. Corbin, look at him go. 7 offensive rebounds. Lost to the Clippers. That's unfortunate. Why Thorpe has to foul out so much. Beat the Celtics by 2. Tyrone Corbin's leading the team with 21. Vernon Maxwell shot 2 for 13. Larry Bird in what was his last season in real life, but I don't think I've seen him retire in any of the simulations after the first year. Mavericks got a whooping. 4 for 4 from downtown from Matt Bullard. Oh, yeah. Alright, I'm liking how things are going right now. 27 points over the Wolves. I'll have to remember to go back and change the title of this video so that you know maybe what team I am and that this is going to be part 1. My plan is to get to the end of this season and then the next video will be the off season. Lots of guys fouled out for them. Beat the Sixers by 17. I feel like Corbin is impressing me. Also, Maxwell is not at the top as often, so I don't know what changed with that, but I'm fine with it. Jazz beat us by 21. Karl Malone still didn't have a great game against us. Fouling out a lot. Beat the Spurs, though. That's a good sign. If we can beat some of the top teams in the West, I'll feel more confident going into the playoffs. Let's see who else we should consider. I mean, Latrell could fall, I guess. It's possible. Because anybody could. I need to check that. Oh, I was about to say that. Would you like to stop? Yes. Do we have anybody? I meant to look. We do have Vernon Maxwell. Larry Smith wants the minimum. I feel like he's worth the minimum. He is 35. We're going to be. But he's shooting 47%. Getting 11 rebounds per 36. He's a decent defender, but good rebounder. So he's at least worth like being my third power forward. So we're gonna do that. Actually, let's do Vernon first. Because he's had a breakout year. So I feel like he's worth extending. Maybe 3 years. I think that's probably gonna work. That might actually work. Let's try that. Vernon Maxwell's locked up. Let's go ahead and give Larry Smith that minimum. What just changed? 281 goes down to 235. Okay. Alright, so free agent wise, we will have the two guys we signed, well, two of the guys we signed mid-season, Turner, who I don't want, and Herrera, we might want back. So 4 openings. Gives us some flexibility and some cap space. 2.5. That's more than I would have thought for this team. Maxwell just got a big ol' raise. Alright, cool. Alright, beat the Warriors by 18. That says 43 and 12. Cool. And I realize I guess other people would do this challenge a little differently, where it's like, okay, win in 4 years, then why not just go all in and win in this year? Like trade, I don't know, even trade Kenny Smith and I don't know, Otis Thorpe to get another big time all-star. But I kind of want to see at least one off season. I mean, if I win, then cool, I'll start over and do another team, but I kind of want to play more of the GM role and make some deals that make this team a little bit better. All right, quick look around the league. Were there any other things? No. The Bullets fired Wes Unseld. There are still no injuries. Hakeem's third. Hakeem second. Mark Jackson now past Purvis Ellison. Hakeem just got Player of the Week with his nice 42-point game. Robinson and Ewing, Johnson and Mutombo. Let's take a look at the playoff picture. We are third, only 2.5 out of first. Okay. Magic are not quite the worst team. The Bulls are real good. Lost to the Suns, but won the rest. So lost by 2 in Phoenix. So that's okay. Oh, that's not okay. Why is Carl Herrera scoring 22 points? Oh my, Olajuwon fouled out, shooting 4 for 13. Kenny struggled. Ugh. Then we come back and beat the Heat by 28. Tyrone Corbin, 22 and 9. His percentage has gone up 2% since I got him. Good stuff. See, even when Thorpe doesn't foul out, he doesn't play his minutes, so I don't know. Beat the Warriors by 22. Vernon, earn your money there, bud. Beat the Kings by 8. Kenny Skywalker picked up as a free agent, scoring 20 points. Like Hakeem is on a nice little stretch here. All right. Who am I still working on here? These guys. Do Sean Rooks, I guess. Lost to the Spurs, but beat the Jazz. 26 over the Mavericks. There's Vernon again. Kenny Smith doesn't have that many double-doubles, I don't feel like, but he's still averaging 8.5 assists. 20, I guess, every 3 games or so. Spurs got us good. Beat the Hornets by 12. Thorpe fouled out again. Johnny Newman beat the Jazz. It was a home game, and we are now 1 game behind them. That's cool. Vinnie Johnson, every once in a while. He played more because Maxwell fouled out. Lost to the Clippers again. Annihilated the Sonics. I don't know why we can't play good games against the Clippers. Olajuwon shot terribly. The team shot awful. But the Sonics had no chance here. Barely scored 20 in 1 quarter. Corbin with another double-double and 6 steals. Tyrone Corbin, I am glad I decided to go for him. I don't know if McMillan's doing better. He is. He was under 40% when I got him. I got him more for his defense. 2 for 36, getting the assists. Good stuff. Beat the Kings by 6. Vernon at the top, fouling out Corbin and Olajuwon. Mitch Richmond scored 36 points on me. We're down to the last 4 weeks here. Alright, well, at this point, I might as well just, well, I'm not going to get Shaq, but if any of these guys happen to fall, I will consider them. Well, that's the first losing week we've had in a while. 14 over the Sonics. I feel like if we match up with the Sonics in the playoffs, we'll be looking pretty good because we've beat them, I feel like, every time we played them. The Clippers, however, if they make the playoffs, we're in trouble because we can't play against them for some reason. Vernon struggled. And the Blazers, we are 2 games behind them. That was a chance to cut that down, and we lost by 1. First half, we were down by 9, so had a hard time coming back. Also, Maxwell fouled out, and Olajuwon fouled out, so that hurts. Let's get through the month. beat the Lakers by 5. They're struggling. Hakeem Olajuwon got a triple-double with 10 blocks. That's fun. Thorpe, 12 and 12. Let's see, anybody get fired? Yes, the Wolves have got a new coach. There are still no injuries. I don't know why. Alright, Hakeem, third. Was Drexler first before? Maybe it was. Grandma Ma gonna win. Shrimp probably gonna win. Hakeem's gonna have a hard time passing Robinson. Although they're not too far apart, it looks like. Purvis takes the lead back there. Whoops. We've got another one. No, that was the one Olajuwon already had. Brad Daugherty's gotten Player of the Week quite a few times. MJ and Drexler get Player of the Month. Johnson and Mutombo. And playoff picture. We are now 2 games back, but only a half game back from second. The Bulls are tied with the Blazers for the best record. And mock draft. The Nuggets still with the number 1 pick. Their other pick fell back, though, because the Nets, I guess... Wait, what? Oh, it's right there. Duh. It did fall back a little bit, but not much. Rockets are currently 24th. I mean, I will take a P.J. Brown if he's there. That's beautiful. He didn't get drafted in real life, but I know what they don't. Beat the Nuggets, beat the Magic. Those are 2 bad teams. If the Nuggets get Shaq with Mutombo, it's going to be kind of silly, but it's not guaranteed with the worst record they'll get the number 1 pick, though. That happened very rarely, actually, in my simulations. Hakeem played 43 minutes. Maybe I need to look at my coaching style or whatever the preferences are where subbing people out. Kenny Smith. We got Otis Thorpe getting 34. Why is he upset? He's horrible. Why is he horrible? Oh no. Probably because he needs to play more, but he can't because he's hurt. Or not hurt. Fouling out. Ralph Sampson's like starting for them. Alright, let's look at this. Is there anything about bench utilization's 50, lineup performance factor? That should probably be a little bit. I don't know how else to... I don't want to take that down because I'm doing real well. Does he not have stamina? It's a 95. No idea. No idea what's wrong with you, Thorpe. But if you could not be mad, that'd be great. Alright, couple bad teams. Oh, we beat the Spurs, though. Alright, maybe we caught up here. That's 44 over the Spurs. We held Robinson to 15 points. So Olajuwon's playing more than I gave him now, because there's like not a center, technically a center. So it's probably the rotation. If I were to look at the rainbow screen, it would look awful. I think it works out better if you have the people in the right positions, backing up those positions. $41 and 11. The Wolves are not good. The Mavericks are not good. That's more like it. Thorpe played 37 minutes in that one. Alright, we are now tied with the Jazz in what, a game and a half? No. What is that? Yeah, a game and a half behind the Blazers. We play both the Blazers and the Jazz. So let's maybe even up the minutes for these two games. Let's see. Vinny's been really good. Bullard has not. Herrera's been all right. Do something like that. In these two games, I'll do them one at a time. Lose to the Blazers. That sucks. That would have been cool to win those and take first. Drexler had a heck of a game. Alright, Jazz now, we are behind, so we win this and we tie them again. And we lost horribly. Karl Malone doesn't do well. He had a good game there, but didn't shoot a lot. Alright, well now we are at least third, but if we can win this game and the Jazz potentially lose, we have a chance of moving up. Let's see. We did win by 20. Thorpe fouled out in 16 minutes, but the Jazz won as well, so we are stuck in third. So now these guys do not need to play as much. I mean, I guess they can't get hurt, so what's the difference? I guess we can give everybody a little bit of PT. I was expecting there to be injuries, so I'm going to have to figure out that for future simulations. I don't know why there are no injuries. Maybe I need to, well, I don't know that I want to do it now that we're entering the playoffs, but maybe I need to up the percentage. I don't know. Alright, what am I doing? Taking down. I give these guys a little bit of playing time. Why not in this last game? We'll do a simcast just to be able to look at stats. Up by 6. Up by 12. Uh-oh. And we lost. Alright. Vinny Johnson played 8 minutes and scored 19 points. He shot 7 of 10 from the line and 6 of 6 from the field. I have no idea if I've ever seen anything like that before. But good job, Vinny Johnson. Maxwell and Thorpe were pretty bad. Del Negro got 5 points. Royal got 4 points. Alright, your MVP is Clyde the Glide Drexler. Larry Johnson wins Rookie of the Year. Sixth man goes to Detlef Schrempf. Defensive Player of the Year, the Admiral David Robinson. Most Improved, Purvis Ellison, almost a double-double. Rick Adelman, Coach of the Year, and actually I got Executive of the Year. That's interesting. Okay, well I did overachieve compared to what the team did in real life, so there's that. Alright, advancing. So since Robinson's there, Olajuwon's not going to get first team, but that's a pretty good first team. Second team, we did get Olajuwon. Rookie Larry Johnson's there. Kevin Johnson's second team. Third team, big game James, Larry Bird. All defense. Pretty good defenders, maybe not so much Sean Kemp. He probably shouldn't be in there. All defense, Olajuwon's second team. Rookies. First team, second team. Alright, we are the third seed. Oh my god. The team I said I hope we don't match up with is, of course, the team we match up with. Of course. Alright, let's get these guys out of here. Sorry, guys, no more rotation minutes for you. We give you, we give you, give you. Alright, Olajuwon, probably even more. Do 39. It suggests 29. Oh, because I'm at 12. Okay, now it's suggesting 36. Thorpe, he doesn't play it, but he's also down 2 because he's so upset. Bullard ended up under 40%, so he's going to be almost out of the rotation, I would say. But I need, if he's out of the rotation or close to it, Smith's got to play more. Let's do you 36. Alright, so 36, McMillan's playing 12 point guard, 3 at shooting guard, which is 40. So he can only play we can't play all the guards that much. Let's do that. So we need 12 and 11, 23. Or sorry, 13 and 11 is 24. So we got 24 between the guards. Perfect. 32 plus 7 is 39. Smith's playing 9 at small forward. He's been pretty good. Let's just go ahead and try Thorpe another minute. See if it helps him actually play more. All right. We will do this thing to try to win. Try to match up against the Clippers here. Gary Grant, Ron Harper. I don't have a great perimeter defender, so I don't really know. Charles Smith is not a shooter. So we'll go under and not worry about his threes. Manning, I mean, Thorpe's the same overall. Polynice does not worry me. Doc Rivers, Edwards. Actually, whoops. Kimball, Vaught. They don't really have three-point shooters, so let's say when he's in the post, let's at least dig on him. All right, game 1, we'll do a simcast, maybe go in and watch some of these if they're close. Well, we got out to a bad start, but came back up by 3. They take the lead. My starting lineup looks like to be the problem. It's a 6-point game. I feel like it's not gonna. Let's watch. Let's watch the last 69 seconds here. Let's not watch the eras, and let's not actually play. Alright, well, Thorpe's not fouled out, so there's that. Kenny Smith is drained of his endurance. Hopefully we can dominate Danny Manning. There we go.
Now they trail by just 4. This is why
Brandon Maxwell only has 9 points.
What a huge shot.
Where is... It seems weird.
To the paint, here's Smith.
Well, that was terrible defense from Tyron Golden.
When you need buckets, go to the guy who's gotten you this far.
Yeah, he's been relentless. Now a timeout called by Houston.
I guess maybe I should only do this for elimination games. But I thought, well, there's a chance we won't get to see the team that way. Cool that it actually says the Summit. Remember, was that last year they added that? Why are we calling another timeout?
The importance of patience down the stretch. Coach said we're not going to get it all back at once.
Let's
take it one trip at a time. Make it simple. Make it easy.
You advance the ball. You inbound the ball and call another timeout. Are we going to do it again here?
Behind by 6. 50 seconds left in the 4th. 50 seconds left to play here in the 4th. Inside.
There we go.
It's in.
There we go.
And now they trail by just 4. If you want points, you
all right, now maybe we play some defense.
He just gets the ball and gets the job done. Pass to Hart.
In zone or doubling?
Smith against Grant. Back
doubling.
to Harper. And they go to the intentional foul.
Never good to lose a player to fouls, but fortunately, he's not the only talent they have. They got other guys that can fill his spot.
Why did we let so much time go off the
Drops
clock?
the first one, and that puts them up by 5.
Boy, you get so much game from a guy like Ron Harper. Passing, scoring, defending, rebounding. He really is a guy who can do everything for his team.
The Maxwell just fell out.
Olajuwon on the wing.
Doubling. Kenny Smith's open for 3. And he missed. So that's going to be the game.
And that's an intentional foul.
I think we will go ahead and send to end. It's not too bad. If it doesn't look like it's going to be close, I can do that. Alright, well, Kenny Smith had a double-double. That 3 would have been pretty huge. Still would have made it difficult. Maxwell did foul out. Looks like Charles Smith needs to be dealt with. Maybe we put Olajuwon on Manning this time. Let's try it. Since we continue to lose to the Clippers. For some reason. Let's put Mr. Olajuwon on him. Alright. Well, we already lost one at home, so there's that. Up at the end of the first again. Better lead. Halftime. The third quarter is where we struggled last time. Oh boy. We'll watch the last 48 seconds. It's a 2-point game. Matt Bullard's in for some reason with Corbin, so that probably means Thorpe fouled out. Lenny Johnson's in as well.
48 seconds left to play in the final quarter.
We have somehow all sorts of timeouts left. Probably calling
They're
another one in a
trailing by
second.
2. There's 47 seconds left in the 4th quarter of this one. Herrera's check in for the Rockets. Nick Millen comes in for Johnson. And let's head over to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
I was able to listen in on what Rudy Tomjanovich went over with his team. Now, Coach was still pretty positive. He told his guys a handful of shots completely changes this game. Just a few good minutes.
Probably didn't need to get Corbin and Herrera touches.
Okay, David, much appreciated.
That was a terrible pass
And pushing it
from
up,
Tyrone
here's
Corbin,
Los
and
Angeles.
now Danny Manning is just running the court. Here I was thinking I made the Rockets better than they were, and can't beat the Clippers at home in the first round of the playoffs.
He's able to hit the second
At least he
one,
missed
and that makes it
one.
a 3-point lead. Now a timeout called by Houston.
Seems like Thorpe
They
and Kenny
trail
Smith
by
must
3.
have fouled out.
34 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, what do you think?
Yeah, you know, there's enough time on the clock, I think, to go 2 for 1 here.
And I think the key thing, probably what Coach wants to see,
Get a
is
quick
good
score
shot.
and try to get the ball back.
They convert here.
Well, Kenny Smith's on the court now, so I don't know what they're doing. Maxwell fouled out? I thought I saw him earlier. No? Oh my god, what are these timeouts? What is wrong with this simcast, whatever it's called? I don't remember this happening at all when we jumped into games on the last game. Are we going to call another timeout?
Here's Smith. Now the pass to McMillan. Houston moving it around.
What are these passes? Wait for him to post up, guys. Just throwing it to Danny Manning, back-to-back possessions.
So the first one drops,
He makes
and that
this,
gives them a
it's
4-point
probably
cushion.
The
over.
son of an NBA player, Danny Manning, even as a rookie, he's always played like a vet. Boys,
Wow.
huge free throws there. So now we have a two-possession
It's only a
game.
5-game series,
Timeout
too, by the
called
way.
for
So
Rockets.
they're
They're
best of
down
5.
by 5. 26 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. .26 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Down low, another steal. And so they
What?
choose to
Okay, well, it's over. I hope that stuff doesn't happen. Like, maybe I should stop jumping into the games. Because I doubt that they're throwing those stupid passes when I'm simulating. Wow. No. Maxwell fouled out 18 minutes. Manning was just as good. Well. I don't really know. We got Olajuwon on Manning. It's been him and Smith. Okay, well, hopefully we don't get swept, but it is possible. That's the best first quarter we've had. Worst second quarter we've had. We've always been terrible in the third, but that was good. It's looking like a win. Alright, we won a game in LA. Harper actually scored in that one. It wasn't Manning nor Smith. Thorpe fouled out again. And I just realized I didn't do... So the Sixers swept the Pistons. I didn't do that rotation change over here. Okay, well, Olajuwon would play close to the whole game probably at this point. just do that. Here we go. Allowed a lot of points in the first. Had a good start to the second. And third is always awful. Just always awful. And we get annihilated. Alright, year one is not where it's happening, guys. Clippers were our kryptonite for whatever reason. I have no idea. Otis Thorpe fouling all the time is a problem. And he's upset that he doesn't get to play. Alright, we have the Suns sweep the Spurs. The Bulls swept the Hawks. We have the Warriors upsetting the Blazers in the 8-1. The Jazz get by the Sonics. The Knicks beat the Pacers, and the Celtics upset the Cavs. Wait, before I forget, delete that game plan. We got, wow. So Sir Charles takes the Sixers over Jordan's Bulls, and Bird gets the Celtics by the Knicks. We got Malone and the Jazz beating the Clippers. They swept the Clippers, of course they did. And then the Suns swept the Warriors. So I'm going to guess, based on previous simulations, I'm guessing Jazz Sixers. No, Suns. I don't remember them being in it at all. So this is the year before Barkley gets traded to the Suns. So it's kind of funny that they're in the finals together. Suns won, Sixers won, Suns won, Sixers won. Alright, let's do a little simcast here at the end of the finals. These Suns, holy moly. I guess we'll watch the celebration. The Suns were up, right? I think. The Phoenix Suns are about to win the championship. I don't remember seeing this quote. Cool.
Dawkins against Johnson.
We were just going to let
Dawkins.
The clock run out. So in my simulations, the Jazz won a few times, the Sixers won maybe a few times, the Celtics won it once, the Blazers, like a lot of teams that didn't win.
All the travel, all the practices, all the meetings,
I don't think the Bulls ever won it, which is funny.
The emotion, the exhaustion, culminating into tonight.
So a team without a certified superstar. We got Kevin Johnson and Tom Chambers and Jeff Hornacek and Dan Marley, but not a team you'd think would be a finals-bound team.
The celebration is here, and this place is going crazy. The bench loves it. The fans obviously overjoyed. This is one of those moments these players will never forget.
Interesting.
Now, let's take you to the presentation of the Larry O'Brien Trophy. NBA Commissioner doing the honors.
David Stern handing the trophy to Kevin Johnson. Let's see if he really was the MVP. Did they fix that? He is here, so that's good. Kevin Johnson's your finals MVP. Alright guys, that's where I will stop this one. We'll do round 2 with the off season. try to make this team better than a first-round exit. I mean, 3 seed, I'll take that. If I can get home court advantage in the playoffs, first round, you'd think that'd be good, but evidently not against the Clippers, so we'll see what we can do. As always, thanks for tuning in. Let me know if there's anything you want to see different as I move forward, but I mean, other than maybe some injuries, but I guess that it could be worse. All right, thanks everyone. Until next time, Shoe Shack Redemption is out.